Say you have a food forest or pollinator garden installation business. The last video was about marketing. This video is going to be about sales. So the last one, lead generation, finding clients. This one is going to be about selling them. And it's going to be a quick video. I just want to lead into this with one thing I forgot to mention in the last video. And of course, this applies to any kind of similar business, but if this is exactly what you're looking for, this is your niche, you're trying to start a business installing food forests or pollinator gardens, this whole video series is going to be about 20 videos long. I think this is video number 8. So right into it, the thing I forgot to say in the last video is that in lead generation and marketing, what you can do is have some kind of decoy offer. What this means is that when you're marketing to people, you bring them in with one thing and then you actually sell them the garden. So what this can look like is something that's simpler. Instead of saying, hey, I'm selling these whole garden installations, say, hey, I'll do a free consultation. And what a free consultation is you actually deliver on the promise. You meet with someone on the phone, over Zoom, whatever it is. Maybe you go in person if you feel really generous or you feel like you'll get a better return on that time because you'll have a higher chance of it going well, but you could lose a lot more time. So you go, you give them a consultation using your knowledge in food forestry to tell them what they could do with their yard. So basically, what are you doing when you do a free consultation for someone? You're getting someone very excited about this process of having this done with their yard. And you get them excited with it, and ultimately, the reality is that it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of knowledge of food forestry to get them to be able to actually have this done. So what you do is you get them excited about it, and then you sell the fact that you can help them do it from that discovery call. So that's a really good way. You could also offer free informational packets, whatever kind of information you want to offer, and then you upsell them and you sell what you're actually trying to sell. So that's leading into it. Next thing I want to talk about is that what is sales essentially? There's this overall frame that you want to go through, this overall understanding. And I am not going to tell you a lot about sales. I'm not an expert in sales. I'm just going to tell you how it applies to this model. I will say, if you want to go learn sales, there's people who teach sales. I think a good way to get started is just to watch Alex Hormozi's YouTube videos. And whether you like him or not, he just puts a lot of effort into those videos. They're really high quality, and it's going to tell you a lot about sales. So go watch those videos. But what you need to understand, I'd say one key thing to this overall understanding and context is that what you're doing is you're trying to understand what this person wants, what they're looking for, what their vision is for their land, and how maybe you could help them with that vision. And at the same time, you want to paint a picture of what it is that you can do for them, what it's like to have native pollinator plants, to have fruit trees. If this isn't what they truly want, that's not going to resonate with them. But if this is something that they want, when you describe the emotional experience, what it feels like to have these things, how their life could be if they had this in their yard, they're going to resonate with that. And so you kind of need to paint this picture. You need to flush out these ideas, make it clear, because most people aren't walking around thinking, oh, I need a food forest, but there's a lot of people who would be excited about it. So yeah, you got the free consultation, you got this overall understanding of what you're trying to do, this general understanding. I don't think you need to go and memorize a bunch of sales scripts for this, although you can do that. I think it's a lot better to just have this overall understanding and then just have a genuine interaction with these people where you're trying to understand what they're looking for. And some people might not be the ideal customers. So what you want to do with your marketing is find people who are interested in this kind of thing. Next part of the video, I would say, in order to be able to sell something, yeah, there's all this stuff you want to learn about sales, but you need to really believe in it. And that's one thing that if you're doing this, you're probably doing it because you really believe in it. I would say you want to work on your inner psychology with regards to the value of it. Maybe you think it's good for the earth, but you're like, oh, people don't really want this. But you need to really think, if I had a yard, this is what I would want. And you need to really, really believe in what you're doing so that when you're trying to sell it to them, you feel like you're trying to get them to do something that's good for themselves. And you might know this logically, but your subconscious mind needs to be aligned with this, or else you're going to self-sabotage yourself. Your subcommunication, your overall energy is not going to be aligned with what you're trying to say. And so at the same time, you also need to, whatever price you're asking, you need to be comfortable asking that price because you are providing a lot of value. You have this expertise that you're using to build a food forest for someone. So you want to understand that you can charge a fair price where you're getting paid well for this, and you need to understand that you are actually saving them time from going and learning all this stuff themselves. If they see the value in it, which you're going to help them do, this is a good deal. So you need to be comfortable asking that price, and you need to think that it's something that's good for them in general and at that price. So overall, that's going to be the video on sales. I would say that overall, with just sales information, go learn from other people. That's not what this is about, but let's talk about in the context of this. You can do it in person. So you can schedule a meeting, a discovery meeting, and you want to go out. Let's say you go to their land, for example, or you do it on Zoom or on the phone. Ideally, you make the sale, you sell the thing in this meeting. So in order to do that, let's say it's over the phone, you're going to need a little bit of information. As you go through, you're going to need maybe some pictures. If you go in person, you're going to need to know, just see if there's any kind of background information you need to know. Overall, if you're going in person, you can just sell them on a vision, but you would want them to think ahead of time what part of their yard they want done. Because you can walk around, you could be like, oh, it would be good here. And they could be like, yeah, I like that idea. You measure it out, it's this many square feet. But they might need to think like, oh, I need to check what lines are underground, or I need to ask this person what they think about that part of the yard. So what part of the yard, whether it's through pictures or in person, is a good thing you want to know ahead of time. Have them say, if you were to get something done, scope out this part of the area. Even if you're doing a free consultation, say, hey, I want you to set a designated area you might want to get done. If you want to try, if they do it too small of an area, you're like, oh, what if we expand it? That's fine. But you want that to get started with. So overall, I think that's the video. Like I said, we're just kind of relating this to the rest of the series. This isn't a full in-depth tutorial on sales. And I'm not an expert in that, but I'm going to be learning that as I go through this. Overall, what you're doing with sales is you are getting someone in alignment with the highest version of themselves. Ideally, you don't want to be doing this in a way that's manipulative, and you don't need to. That's the thing, is that when you're talking about, oh, these beautiful pollinator plants and having healthy food growing and doing something that's good for the bees, you're not going to be like appealing to someone's guilt and getting them to do it. It's just not how that works. If it resonates with them, you can really flush that out and get it to resonate with them and get them to see the value in it and invest in it. And if it doesn't, it's just not going to work. So that's the video. Peace.